If you've never read the comic strip Get Fuzzy by Darby Conley, I highly recommend it. It's about a single guy, Rob, who lives with his two pets, a talking dog and cat, and deals with a constant stream of drama that they, mostly the cat, bring into his life in their ensuing relationships. The cat, a buck-fanged Siamese named Bucky, is a cantankerous, deluded malcontent with a special hatred for ferrets and a sociopathic disassociation from Rob's belongings or rules. The dog, a sweet and simple creature named Satchel, is usually at the mercy of Bucky's misguided attempts for glory or tuna. From a dysfunctional relationship viewing perspective, this comic strip is gold. In one of my favorite strips, Satchel comes upon Bucky standing in the hallway with his eyes closed while a spider hangs out on the wall behind him. When Bucky reacts instinctively and smashes the spider, Satchel asks in amazement how he did it. Bucky tries to educate Satchel on creep tingles and tells him to close his eyes. Satchel seems to sense something, so Bucky instructs him to react, and Satchel's paw snaps out, straight into Rob's groin, who has wandered up behind him. As Rob crumples to the ground, Bucky comments, "Creep thus disabled." Ever since I read and kept a copy of that strip, I have referred to instincts, especially regarding something that might be a little off, as creep tingles. Combined with calibration, obeying your creep tingles can be developed into a highly efficient tool of measuring the value of an interaction and, with frequency, a relationship. We've all had a bad feeling about somebody, and, if we're lucky, have had the chance to validate why at some point later on. Maybe we discovered they had a habit of lying, maybe they turned out to be abusive to others, maybe after we refused their requests, they bummed money off the next person and never paid them back. But there are plenty of times we don't get the opportunity to confirm that tingle. So we have to make the most of these interactions and pursue them when we get the chance. The reason? Just because somebody triggers that feeling in you doesn't mean they deserve it. There are plenty of instances where that person is just subconsciously reminding you of somebody else that you have negative associations with. It's so subtle that, for example, they could actually be reminding you of a parent's friend who yelled at you to get off their couch when you were tramping mud on it at 2 years old, which you have absolutely no conscious memory of. Yet you see their doppelganger as an adult and immediately feel compelled to be as far away from this innocent stranger as possible. This brings me to my self-proclaimed clever one-liner. Trust but verify but trust. This statement actually serves two tangentially related purposes. First, generally speaking, I recommend people trust their instincts. Our species, like all species, absorbs lessons about our safety by experiencing stimuli, reflecting on the outcome, and deciding upon a path when encountering the stimuli in the future. Example: run out into the middle of the street as a child, get collected hastily and yelled at by a parent to never perform this action without looking both ways, decide to never run out into the street again without looking. So, by and large, when you get creep tingles about something or somebody, statistically the best answer is to respond in your predetermined way because you have learned that it keeps you safe. However, because we know we're all occasionally wrong, it is often worth it to try collecting more data before landing on a decision whenever possible. Let's take an iconic movie reference as an example for fun. A Christmas Story. The antagonist of the main character, Ralphie, is a tall, red-headed boy with braces. When Ralphie grows up, should he just determine every red-headed male with corrective dental wear that can look over his head as evil? Perhaps it would be valuable for Ralphie to talk to the man, or, at the very least, observe the individual and other interactions and make a more informed decision after he has gathered more data. This is the verify part. Given the loose criteria provided, Ralphie doesn't have that much of a case to determine if this person is, as an adult, is evil. But sometimes something else is at work inside us. There could be just a nuance we're picking up, a vibe, a feeling, a sense, whatever you'd prefer to call it, that gives us the creep tingles about this person. So if you encounter a creep tingle, do your research, and still come up with the same result, the second trust comes into play. But first, it's important to note that people have wildly varying judgments of character. You may know somebody who is exquisitely bad at it and continues to engage with people who wish them harm, and you may know somebody who rarely misses the mark, constantly making the right bet on people they let into their life. Thus, the effort to refine this inborn trait that resides in all of us is absolutely worth every minute spent on it. Practice comes from understanding and acknowledging your biases, calibrating by collecting data, and adjusting based on accuracy in future instances until your track record improves. The second, tangentially related purpose of the statement regards erring on the side of trust. Too many people become wounded by others, form an emotional scar about a particular kind of person or relationship, and decide it's better to never trust again. This is folly, it's wrong, and it only leads to misery. It's also cowardly. Not opening yourself to trusting others because one person caused you harm is an absolute, and making decisions based on absolutes will limit you. No two people are exactly the same. No two experiences match each other minute for minute, and nobody controls how you react to things. Swearing off of trust is simply hiding. Hiding is done out of fear. Fear provides constant stress, which will eventually eat at your body like a flesh-eating bacteria inflicted upon you from a malicious alien species bent on world domination. Not even kidding. Is that scary? Good. Go trust somebody, but choose wisely. The principle. We are designed to filter all of the stimuli of the world, to sort for simplicity so that we can operate in complexity. Our instincts are built in, but they can and should be worked on to improve. In this video, I referenced Calibrate Your Way of Thinking. If you haven't seen it yet, click here to find out the value of constantly updating the way you process information. Thanks for watching the video, and be sure to subscribe for more like it. Click on the notification bell to be alerted to new videos.